All right. What's happening, everybody? So, basically, what I'm trying to do in this live show is see if I can figure out how to do a screen share or something. I want to show you guys some data, but it doesn't always work out that I can because in the live show, I can't show data. At least I don't know how to yet, which is driving me crazy. So I need y'all's help if y'all know how to do that. So I'd love to show you guys more of what's going on behind the computer screen over here. A lot of it just has more to do with some basic tuning stuff and things like that. But if I can't show you really what I'm up to, it makes it hard. Plus, I had downloaded a screen sharing video app or something like that. And let me tell you, it did not go the way that I had hoped. So, what's up, y'all? Rome is in, Ardell is in. I apologize for not going live Saturday, guys. I came down with something for a hot minute and pretty much whooped my ass. So, had me a bit down for the count. Missed the fights. Saw that Strickland won. Glad I didn't bet on that fight. I'd have lost my arse. But no, just kind of I'm trying to figure out if there's a way through YouTube to do a screen share. And if anything cool pops up, let me know. Again, the reason why I wanted to get with you guys on this, mainly talking about fuel quality and some of the issues that we've been running into with fuel quality down here of late. So, yeah, I got Stormy's tune all wrapped up, and realistically, that tune that's on Stormy is a 93 octane tune. I wouldn't really want to run it around too much on, I wouldn't want to rely too much on 87 octane. Let's just say that I would be running 93 octane to ensure at least 91. And oddly enough, one of the issues is that she ran into some low speed spark knock on this tank of gas that was absolutely terrible. So bad, as a matter of fact, where I have a bailout tune for that truck. Like, if I really, for any car that I tune or that I have tuned, I always have a fuel quality bailout tune. Let's say, for example, I put together a tune for Little Miss Revlon, and although she really doesn't have any timing in her, if I need to severely downgrade that tune, I've got one ready to go. It's just something that I do. Well, I had a bailout tune ready to go for Stormy, which is in essence all stock timing values, but all the fuel thrown at it, which normally actually picks up power anyway, much less just trying to interpolate a timing table. And that's something that I wanted to show you guys. And so that's kind of what I'm in the process of trying to do. Is see if there's a way through YouTube that I can actually, load up a screen share thing. So this is just me and you playing around with YouTube right now. But really, that's about it. Not a whole lot to chat about. Obviously, nothing on the Mopar side. I was looking for Conquests and Starions there for a hot minute until I figured out that was a bad idea. Not because they're bad cars or anything. It's just to find a nice one. It's like finding Fox bodies right now. People with a nice one think that they're worth $1 million, and guys with crappy ones, it's like Novas for some reason. It's like people think you got a Nova or a Chevelle, it's worth a lot of money, and the reality is a lot of those cars are so clapped out that even the people that have them don't realize that they're junk. So anyway, some of the guys have been pretty cool though. And as far as the prices that they're looking for some of these cars, but I got to tell you, the prospect of a project right now seems a little bit daunting. I got a lot on my plate. or I'm wrapping up a lot of things on my plate right now. So, so far the bike, well, the bike's going to be a little bit waiting on parts for the Daytona. Honestly, Foxy, looks like Foxy might just need an alignment and some struts. I'm not 100% sure that she needs a bump steer kit. It's a little bit, the steering geometry is a little bit out of whack, but we're going to try the simpler, more, less brutal approach to getting that thing to act right. And but yeah, actually it could just be as something as simple as an alignment and some struts, and that thing could be as happy as she could be. So we will see about that. By the way, that car is running really well. And in that same token, in one of the last videos I did, I was actually saying, hey, I'm street tuning Foxy again, mainly because of fuel quality issues. Well, that's exactly what I was doing with Stormy. And since running into a significant amount of low-speed spark knock, I just decided to throw the bailout tune in that truck, and it runs fine on that tune, except even under wide open throttle with what is in essence stock timing values, even at wide open throttle with a pretty considerable amount of fuel in that tune, it's still getting a little bit of knock retard, which that truck should have 0 with the fuel that's in it. So, well, assuming that the fuel was good, which it ain't. So one of the issues that we used to have at the shop too was, you get guys come in and you always tell them, look, you need to go to a reputable gas station and get the highest octane that they sell. And if their cars were coming in from out of town, we would say, look, you're better off bring your car down full of whatever 93 or 91 is available in your area, and then bring down 2 5-gallon jugs full of that same gas when you drop the car off for tuning. And it was not a joke. You cannot tune a car that is set up for 93 octane in Dallas, Texas, for a car that's going to be up somewhere in higher altitude, 91 octane, and then have that car come down and, perform properly. It doesn't sometimes work out like that. I know some tuners would try to get too aggressive. I always told guys, bring whatever fuel you can, because at least we'll have the same fuel that you're playing with, trying to make all things as equal as you possibly can. And man, I got to tell you, it doesn't really matter. Half the time they wouldn't do it. And so we'd still just tune it on 93. And if it was Z85, well, E85, Z85, it's going to be weird no matter where you go. So at least there's that. But one of the things that we would take a look at was, primarily fuel quality and lack thereof sometimes. And that's exactly what we're working with. And you've got to put tunes together that can at least try to accommodate for some levels of fuel quality variance, I guess the best way to put it. And I did not do that with Stormy because I was trying to get a number out of that truck. So anyway, my 93 octane tune is pretty solid. My 89 octane tune is also very solid. It's just all stock values because that truck really is set up to run on 89. Let nobody tell you any other way. And this is something else. And a lot of this had to do with the video that I was trying to put together. It's why I wanted to try to do the screen sharing and all of that, which I just don't know how to do it. I don't even know if you can do it through YouTube on a live show. It'd be super cool if you could, but it just doesn't look like you can. But anyway, getting back to it, one of the things that I was going to illustrate for you guys, I wanted to show, and like I say, it'd be super sweet if I could just pop up my screen that I'm looking at right now and showcase for you guys specifically what I'm looking at when I'm making these changes in the tune. If I could just do it as easy as that, then it would be, phenomenal, or at least have some means to be able to do it on the live stream. So let's see, but let me check in with you guys Rome is first in. What's up, Ardell? What's up? Complex got the cadence. So did DM. Thank you, fellas. Jeremy is in. Marco, what's up, my man? Sovereign is in. He got the cadence down right, too. By the way, I torched my left shoulder, so I can't play as much as I was playing before. It's not an injury. I just kind of tweaked it. Base is in. What's up, my brother? Saying the S650 does have the Fox body mode for sure. That's pretty neat. I like that. That's enough reason for me to buy one. Marco saying, thinking about pulling out this turbo 5.7, go with a 6.4 with a cam, but I really like the 5.7. Man, I tell you what, one of my favorite swaps, give Moe's a shout, Moe's Performance. One of my favorite swaps is a 6.4 with a small cam or with a stock 6.4 cam in one of those trucks. I know it seems kind of nerdy. I know it seems kind of old manish, but that is a hell of a fun truck to drive. So that that 6.4 with that stock cam ain't bad. And with a mild cam, it's even ain't badder. Jeremy saying everything is high right now, talking about values. Yeah, for sure. Matter of fact, it's getting out of control, guys. I mean, it really is. It's getting to the point now where it's not even fun for me to think about a new project for the channel. It's getting more and more frustrating, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. And, I looked at some options too. Don't think that I haven't. I mean, I was looking at trucks initially, older D100s, mid 70s to mid 80s, D100s, D150s, I should say, for the V8. And was basically just going to do a 2-and-2 drop, big block swap with some type of a overdrive transmission and call it good. And that would have been all she wrote. But again, trying to find them is just absolutely impossible. By comparison, I should say, specifically with the Chevrolets, but then trying to find them at a decent enough price is even harder still. So that got shot down. And I'm in Texas. This should be the easiest place to find an old Dodge pickup truck, but you'd be surprised. But yeah, the list goes on and on. Let's see. Jake's asking, I know everyone says the Eagle heads flow amazing. They do. Most say no gains, at least not worth the price, but would milling the heads help also with getting them ported? No and no, at least not in my opinion. Not unless you're going to do something way different with that engine. And look, if you go 5.7 heads on a 6.4, I think you bump the compression to like 12-1 or something. It's really even not worth that. Every little bit helps, but I mean, it's a project, and unless you're getting paid to do this, it's really not worth it to go through the extra, give yourself head trauma trying to go through this kind of stuff, guys. I mean, listen, if it's me and I'm the one that would be doing it to my own car, if I bought like a 2019 5.7 Challenger and just wanted to do a build on it, I wouldn't even touch the heads. I probably wouldn't even, I might put a camshaft in it, but I doubt it. And the more I think about it, the more I might lean towards a 392 stock 392 cam and a 392 intake. But even with that, I'd be still a little bit iffy. Maybe who knows? Listen, I wouldn't touch the heads though. Regardless of the direction I decided to go with it, I wouldn't even come close to fooling with the cylinder heads because there's no real honest to goodness need to. At least not so far as I've seen. Now, if you want to try to spin the thing high RPM, you want to run it on a different race fuel, and you're looking for like 14, 16 to 1 compression ratio, then yeah, in that case, of course. But for the street, no. And let me put it to you another way. For the street, no. And I'm having this problem with Stormy. Literally, the whole reason why I put this live show together was to try to figure out a way to show you guys what low speed spark knot looks like and some of the problems you can have with fuel quality that will affect a stock car, and take it even further with something that's modified, that you're not running on fuel, that you're trying to run on pump gas. And the whole premise of this was, look, these cars today are race cars by comparison to back in the day, but race cars by comparison to engines back in the day that were designed to run on pump gas, 89, 93 octane. So imagine how much farther we've come, right? I mean, you've gone from 300 horsepower needing premium fuel to now you have a 400 horsepower basic pickup truck engine, 375 horsepower basic corporate sedan engine in the 5.7s. Think about that for a minute. People put 87 octane in those things all the time and rip them around, not realizing that what you're really looking at is an engine that's making 33% more power than what used to be expected to take 93 octane. Now you're trying to make it run on 87. It blows my mind that you can get away with that. And that's kind of the mentality that I know I've got to get past. But the reality is that physics don't care what my mentality is. The reality is that you've got to have premium fuel available for some of these vehicles, especially if fuel quality tanks a little bit, which apparently it has down here. And so we need the extra octane to make these things work. And I'm telling you, when you have audible low-speed spark knock, that's a problem. And this is, again, where a lot of tuners, they try to build some peppiness into a tune, and you can get there without adding any timing in the base timing tables. Matter of fact, the smart money actually goes to just making driver demand torque ramp up very aggressively and then flatten out on the big end, so to speak. That's the way to make them peppier under partial throttle. You really don't even have to fool with timing or anything like that. I do certain things under partial throttle as transitions to wide open. Yeah, and there's some things that I do that help me win races with that, but it all happens. It's like a 1/10 of a second intervals, and that's how we set records, right? So anyway, I was going to show you guys some of that. And again, that's why I'm trying to figure out. I've got a note into my YouTube fam, seeing if anybody knows any screen share software that would work for live shows. But X is in. What's up? Oh, Base is saying you can get an old Nova or Chevelle project way cheaper than most Mopars. Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Well, that's always been the case. But I mean, here lately, the problem with finding an old Nova or Chevelle is that they're just Bondo wagons. I mean, they're just absolutely, you just never know what you're getting. And the problem with never knowing what you're getting is that these things can be, I mean, visually fantastic, but it's just like shopping for a Corvette. You go trying to find a vet somewhere, you find something that is visually stunning and everything underneath it is just peanut brittle. And you got to watch out for that big time with Corvettes. There are some shady individuals in the vet market, by the way, and it's easy to get away with a lot of sins with a vet. Many times you're selling a car to somebody who's not going to be hard on it anyway. It's their dream car and all this other stuff. And the problem is that that dream turns into a nightmare pretty quickly for some of those folks. Let's see, you guys are checking in. Rome says, so you're able to literally hear this. Yeah, it's absolutely hear it. And it was validated too. So I went out and thought, was that like ice in my drink or something? So I'm like holding it. I'm like hanging my head underneath the dash. Yeah, it's for sure low speed spark knock. And so what I did is I got to the office, hooked up the laptop, started the data log. And I noticed as I was driving, I would roll into the throttle and I was looking at the tach at about when it would start. And yep, it would start at 1800 RPM and it would cease at about 22-ish hundred RPM, maybe 23 at the most. And when I data logged the truck, that's exactly where it was. And you could actually hear it with your ears. And don't get me wrong, the truck was actually reeling in timing, but you can only reel in so much so quickly. And that's what I was hearing, is it was trying to reel timing back to get away from that. Kind of interesting stuff. Rome, yes, that's the whole point of this. So prolonged driving like that would absolutely sting that truck. And it's one of the reasons why, when it comes to tuning, this is why you have to have somebody on board that speaks Mopar, that speaks the vehicle that you're working with. It's not wide open throttle stuff that blows up cars typically. It's low speed spark knock that breaks them. And, being able to have access to high quality fuel is incredibly important. But like with my bailout tune, I just default everything to stock timing values. So, X is saying you should be able to click something that says display screen, and it should reflect your computer screen on the stream. I would love to find somewhere where it says display screen, but I do not have that option. No, I've got a split screen, but that just gives me access to look at something else. No, none of this is that, unfortunately. But it just stinks. And I don't know why it would be that you wouldn't be able to do that. But anyway, I've got a note into those folks that might know more than I do. So hopefully we will have an answer on that. Dan's asking, have decided on those 1 7/8 inch long tubes for my next mod that you recommended for my 5.7, going with high flow cats. For them, any suggestions for exhaust? I really like the stock sound. It's loud enough. Then leave it stock. Don't mess with it. That's one of the things that I've tried to, I've been saying for a long time, is don't try to make these things loud. They with an X pipe, all you do is it's amplifying a kind of a sharp tone, and it just, you want to throw a like an H pipe type of setup in there. If you want it louder, you can go with that route, but I just leave the stock stuff. Sovereign, no, trying to, like, if I wanted to share a screen, if there was a thing I could just say, okay, I'm clicking on my VCM scanner now, boom, like right now I'm looking at my VCM scanner, and I could just talk to you guys while I'm moving the cursor around, and then click back to you guys like I just did, and we'd still be talking, and I see me talking to you, and the background is the shop and everything else. Streamlabs. Okay, I will have to check that out. Streamlabs seemed okay. Cool. I will certainly check that out. Streamlabs or StreamYard. I haven't considered those because I don't know that they exist. That's why I need y'all's help. So let me get a piece of paper for writing. I might as well get a chisel and some stone here. And I will write this stuff down. If I can get a piece of paper out of this printer that doesn't work anymore. This is a real good reason to keep it around, right? So Streamlabs or StreamYard. Cool. I will check that out. Let's see. Let's see. Tap share screen, start sharing. To share your audio, select the checkbox. Present to everyone. Pop up when audio has shared. Let's see. That's the thing. I don't have a share screen option, though. I really don't. Like there's nowhere, and I've looked everywhere. There is no share screen on my end. Let's see. Even if I go into settings, that's a completely separate thing. That opens up a whole new tab. Yeah, I don't think this is what we're looking for. Yeah, that's not it. So yeah, I don't have any kind of a share screen option on my side. Yeah, that's a. Let's see what else I have. Share anything? Yeah, I got nothing on it. I've literally scrolled through everything on here that I'm afraid won't stop the stream like mid sentence. You know what I mean? Let's see. Summer sound I need 2 displays. Yeah, I'll check out Streamlabs. Sounds like that seems to be the first place to start. And I'll check that out. That link out too. I'll have to come back to fetch that though. I'll just do a copy link on that and save it for later. Let's see. We try doing it like this. What did that do? Desktop mirroring. Yeah, this is, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I'll have to take a look at that and see if I can incorporate that. But saying, sorry, YouTube is being difficult. Hey, let me tell you what was difficult earlier. I don't know if y'all can see this on your end, but what was happening is that I couldn't even start a live show. And there was an option for a split screen that was happening and then wasn't happening. Like if you hovered over just the right place, it would do it. I don't think I can get it to do it now. Let's see. Let me try something. Is that working? No, that wasn't it. Let's see. Yeah, there's nothing like there's like in the live show, there's more live show management stuff, but there's not a what is this? Hang on, let me try. That's not helping either. That's just there's an edit feature, but I cannot. Yeah, there's no way to. Yeah, there's no way for me to get that sorted out. X is going, the hell? I know it, right? Joe saying, standing by for boomer moment. God dang it. No, that's the funny thing. I mean, it'd be kind of cool if it was just, hey, click here and I mean, the only share that I have is that I can share it to another platform. That's it. Anyway, getting back to it, bottom line is be careful with your fuel quality and don't necessarily trust the tune. It's not always going to be able to bail you out of every situation that you're in if you've got a tune in the car that is optimized specifically for a certain kind of fuel and specifically for a certain type of driving type as well. Heavy loads, long distances, things like that. You're better off sticking with your stock tune and not trying to go along with a questionable tune if you hear anything, which is another reason why I tell guys don't go crazy loud with your cars. If the car exhaust is crazy loud, it keeps you from hearing other things that the engine might be trying to tell you. Like the fuel sucks. Get me better gas like right now. By the way, what I wanted to show y'all was, okay, here's a data stream of the truck with the tune that's in it that apparently has bad gas in it. And here's a tune that has all the fuel thrown at it, but doesn't have any more timing. And here's what it's acting like. And then just to show you, it's absolutely the fuel quality, no question about it. But again, and that's why, I would like to, be able to do stuff like that for you guys. X is laughing. It should be just like Zoom video calls, which I 100% agree. Like, what's the one we use all the time? TeamViewer. That one's real easy. You just share screen, and it's a separate entity. It's just share screen, boop, and up it pops. So Red Dog's asking about ever heard of a Paxton Novi supercharger? Yes, I have. Why do you ask? They're good. They're really good. The old school Paxton Novis, new school stuff, all the Paxton stuff is good. I'll put it to you like this. I would never say anything negative about Paxton or Vortec for that matter. X is saying, yep. Joseph's saying, you and me both. I'm about to this. Yeah, for sure. Oh man. And the thing, okay, so you guys know, I mean, I don't know, some of y'all were around for the Phantom Live moment, where I literally went ass live. I don't know how my phone went live, but it did. But how it's not as easy as it should be or could be is mind numbing. But anything that focuses on like the necessity of something working for me to get my job done, like email working properly or computers not sketching out or doing whatever. If it's going to happen, it always seems to happen to me. And the running joke was that like I was somehow or another allergic to electricity or things that ran on electricity. So I can never own an electric car. Could you imagine having that superpower and then owning a car that runs on electricity? It's like, oh my God, no, that's the worst thing ever. Oh, Noab's saying he hadn't driven his car because of reasons. But his guys are complaining about fuel quality too. So yeah, it sounds like it's all over the place right now. Yeah, sound like y'all were whipping some food. Yeah, we're actually eating sushi. Joe said electricity is allergic to me. Maybe. It's just crazy. And that by the way, extends to anything that runs on electricity. So even lightning. So there was this story. I've said it maybe a few times on the show, but on several different occasions, I've just about been like freaking raided out of existence. And one of those crazy ones, one of them when I was a kid and lightning actually struck the house. One of them, though, I was running a division of a fence company for a friend of ours who owns a very large commercial fence company. And walking through the yard, there was a fabrication plant. The guys fabricated a bunch of really cool, ornate stuff. And then there was some external offices. And then there was the plant where I designed frame gates and or gate frames, and those were for wooden gates. And so I was walking over to that section to find out basically where we were standing in terms of what do we have in stock, what was the production looking like, this normal crap. And it was one of these days where it was just kind of like just kind of a gray, misty, just kind of a weird weather kind of day, stuff you don't really think about. And so I'm walking from where my office was to the fab house, basically. And as I'm walking out of, get over there, yammer, yammer, talk, talk, get out of that. And I'm walking over to where the main offices are, ran along a fence line. And there was like trees and grass and it was just a larger portion of what would be just a big lotted area, but it had woods and just trees and miscellaneous shit. Well, I'm walking back there and it's kind of misting and all this stuff is outdoors. It's kind of misting. And I heard this thing that sounded like, it's hard to explain the sound. It's not like, it's kind of like paper, but kind of like plastic too, if you were to try to wad it up. And I'm like, what is that? It sounded like something was rustling. And I did research on this, come to find out it was feelers or streamers or whatever they call it. But I look and you see light, you see electricity go like, I caught it out of the side of like my peripheral vision. It goes tss, 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 like this. I'm like, is that like an animal? And it goes, tss, 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 and it all just went all together at once. And it was really a trippy looking thing. It looked like something out of a cartoon. And it goes, zzz, and then boom. And when the lightning hit, I was about this far away from it. So it just dropped. And it literally lit up my entire field of vision, went white. And I only heard a portion of the sound, like the thunder. It was instant, but I could only hear, I guess is the best way to put it. It just went bam. That's all you heard, like an explosion. And then everything was cool, but you could taste the ozone in the air. And so, yeah, that was the closest I've ever been to, getting, like I say, radoned out of existence. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. And, but it was so weird because it didn't seem real. I didn't think that, like, it just wouldn't click that that's what's going on. Like, what am I tripping? Like, what was in my coffee? You guys, but no, seriously, it was really after the fact, I just about freaked out, but it was just so cool. Like, what was that? What was that? Oh, wow. What's going on? And then the thing, like, you don't really have time to think, but that's exactly what that was. And when it hit, it was one of the weirdest things because when the lightning struck, literally my entire field of vision went white. It was so, like, I had nothing and I'm looking straight ahead. It hit right where I was looking. So that was one of the weirder things about it, but that's my experience with electricity. Here we go again. Let's see. Arthur's in. What's up, Sam? I've learned a lot from you over the past couple of years, and I don't even own a Dodge. Well, a lot of it's not just Dodge-related stuff. I mean, it's everything. I mean, it encompasses all brands. I mean, the concepts all work across the board. But I'm glad. Thank you. That's cool. Joseph, time for impressions. I'm saying that's scary. Yeah. Yeah, you can taste, Arthur. Yeah, you can taste the ozone. So, you could actually, especially after the fact, you could taste it. It's a metallic kind of you know it when you smell it, but it's the same as when you can't describe it. There is no like to it. It's something that you just have to explain. It just sounds like the one time I pissed my wife off. I get that. Basically, I'm doped up on painkillers, waiting to go under the drill at the dentist. The guitar and the scatter, the only thing keeping him sane. I missed somebody up here. Hang on a second. Bear with me here just a second. Rome, I missed you. My stolen Challenger is almost out of the shop, but I'm still waiting for a new dash radio bezel, debating just closing the claim, taking my car and ordering one on eBay to do it my damn self. I know the feeling, man. Believe me. Let's see. Joseph, those are two good things. Get well soon. Hollering out at base. They saying thank you. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, wow. Yeah, some things are so unique you can't compare it. You cannot compare it to anything. So when when that happened, it was so weird because there was no way to describe it after the fact. And the weird thing, I don't know if it broke any windows, but it rattled. It was like the entire complex got hit with an earthquake. That's how where it hit, how close it was. And it was, get a load of this, it was kind of misting and raining. So I'm walking along this concrete pad and I'm wearing like normal tennis shoes, right? So you would have thought that, I would have gotten, zapped pretty good, but that ended up, why did this thing just do that? That ended up not being the case at all. Matter of fact, I was perfectly fine in that respect. This thing I didn't realize is, there we go. That wasn't at all the case. It was just a really weird, just a really weird thing. You can't describe it. It's so unique, and there's no way for me to be able to even tell you what it was like, because again, it would have to be like strictly simulated to give you an idea for what it was like. Itch is in. What's up? Trying to figure out how to do a screen share like TeamViewer with this. And again, there is just no option in here that would allow me to do it. Which is a real drag because I know that there's an option for, like, if I want to do a standalone video. I think I was using Vimeo at one point, and I tried to get back in there and do it, and they've changed up a few things that make it more of a headache to use than it was worth. And so anyway, yeah, Streamlabs and StreamYard, I'm going to have to take a look at those as I write down my to-do list. Refund for trailer tires. Anyway, but that's what I'm up to tonight. Again, installed the bailout tune on Stormy. And from there, basically, going to have to put some decent gas in her before I can actually get out there and make another rip. This is not the same tank of gas, by the way, that I was making those rips in the other night. So we know that the tune is good. We just have to get the right kind of fuel in her. So, but that's it. Like I say, nothing wild or exciting coming down the pipe. Still 105 degrees every day down here. So there's that. And really nothing to write home about from Dodge. I mean, the latest that we have from Dodge is that they're in cahoots with Jay Leno and making squirt wax and all of that kind of stuff. Yay. But the problem with all of that is that so much of what has made Mopar great has gone away. And it just seems like they're not giving us anything to work with. So, we're relegated to talking about fuel quality in your Ram 1500 and things like that. Not necessarily the most fun stuff. And I had some questions about I get like I go through waves of guys asking me about camshafts. Um, and will I put cams together for guys? And the reality is that I already have put cams together for guys. Uh, Give Pikes Performance a shout. That's PEITZ. Let them know you talked to me, and they'll take good care of you. But I don't do one off, and I don't do like I won't say yes. Use these specifications for your build. And the reason why I don't do that, and the reason why I'm only business to business, those are the other questions that come up. Is the reason why is that I don't get paid to do that. and I gotta say, what happens is guys will call me, okay, and they'll go, hey, put this cam together for us. And I go, okay, your cam's together, it's heading your way. And the cam lands, and then they get with their tuner, and their tuner goes, well, if you put the cam together, he should be able to tune it. Like, well, you're just going to change up a VE table, and you're going to have to work with it in your conditions, because that's how you do this if you're a fucking tuner. And so anyway, I end up getting roped into tuning the thing as well. And I've had that happen a couple of times, and it annoyed me that the people that they were using were not at all qualified to be tuning Mopar stuff anyway. Yeah, so I quit that pretty quick. And for anybody that wants to get a cam done, give Alex a shout. Those guys will take good care of you. But in the meantime, I still do some peer reviews for other shops, take a look at tunes, and I'll do stuff like that for guys. But when it comes to putting cams together, things like that, y'all have heard me talk about what works and what doesn't work with these cars so many times. Y'all could give them the same advice that I would give them. So, Car Wash is in, said, hey, be checking in, watching the Cowboys slay the Giants 33-0. Ooh, that's brutal. Joseph saying, I understand TRX is going up 10 large next year because Mopar. Exactly. Have you heard that? That's what I heard too. Kurt's asking, what's so good about the Hellcat Durango? It weighs a lot. 717 horsepower is what's good about it. It's all-wheel drive. That's another good thing. It's big. That's pretty cool. And yeah, if you got something with 717 horsepower all-wheel drive and it's got weight enough to be able to plant the power, it's going to scoot. So they're really good. If you ever have a chance to drive one of those big cars, it's worth it. And whether it's a Trackhawk or a Durango Hellcat, they're both equally pretty awesome vehicles. For those of us that are in the know, they're actually like the way to go. And if they weren't so flipping expensive, I'd probably be rocking one of those Durangos myself. Jeremy's asking, is it just me or does Dodge commercials suck trying to show the Hornet like it's a muscle car? Yeah, they try it. So they don't know how to bring that vehicle to market, and through marketing, and they also don't know how to bring it to market through actually showing up with Hornets. Apparently all of these phantom, and I use that term specifically, these phantom orders that they had during that big reveal back in whenever it was, they're not either they're not being filled or they're not, they were non-existent at that time, or they've been canceled. Joe's saying Jeep Grand Wagoneer, big car, big motors. Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. But we'll see. And the Grand Wagoneer is coming with the Hurricane. We got to have something else showing up with the Hurricane. I don't know if they're doing beta testing with that or what. I've reached out to some folks to see if they've done anything with that platform, and it's crickets. So I certainly have not. I would love to see a read file on one of those tunes, but or one of those platforms, but haven't seen one yet. Um, let's see. Others saying I got gapped by a Durango Hellcat in my '08 335. That's basically stock now. The passenger didn't even the row the boat on him. Oh, that's brutal. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. You got to be careful with the Durangos. You got to be careful with the Explorers too. Those things with a tune on E85 are pretty sick as well. I don't know if they're quite in the Hellcat Durango with work range, but God, they're close enough to call. Jeremy's saying that he's seen a few of the talking about the Hornets on the lot, but haven't seen any on the road. Yeah, I can definitely understand and see that. Nobody's buying them that I know of, and I know y'all keep telling me what it's based off of. It's based off of another vehicle that I will not commit to memory. So there's that, I just I can't get it out of my head that they're trying to do something with that car, but they can't seem to get it's got this whole failure to launch thing working for it, where I just don't think anybody wants it. Nobody asked for it. Nobody asked for Dodge to do anything other than build fast, cool cars. Figure out a way to do it and do it. But cool, it's got to at least tick that box too. And EV ain't that. Kurt's asking, will the stock Scat Pack 1320 beat a normal stock Scat Pack at the track? That's a tongue twister. Yeah, it depends on the driver, but it's got it by about 1/10 of a second, which is not a lot. But a win light's a win light, and yeah, it can actually put a sting on a stock Scat Pack. But they have to be set up identically. Same wheel and tire setup, same amount of weight reduction. Because it does not take much for a stock Scat Pack to equal or even beat a 1320. Sinners was saying it's funny. We got 4 Hornets in, and 2 of them the AC didn't work. What the fuck? Are you serious? Dude, that is terrible to hear. Funny, but awful. Kurt, nah, they're really not. There's not a lot in them to make them worth it, to be honest. Jeremy's saying the problem is Dodge is so late to the game and everybody's sick of crossovers. Yeah. I would wholeheartedly agree with that as well. The stuff that Dodge has put out there, there's been some cool stuff, but it always seemed to be fraught with mechanical gremlins. Like the Nitro looked neat, but my understanding is it had a lot of problems. They had a lot of mechanical issues that kept people from ever wanting to buy another Dodge again, which can, again, be a bit of an issue when you're trying to sell Dodges. Let's see. What do we got here? So, yeah, that's what is up with all of those Dodge products floating around out there that so many people have gotten so sick of over the years with their mechanical issues that were kind of synonymous with the brand of Dodge. Kurt's asking, I've heard that people don't call Shelby GT350 and 500s Mustangs. They are Mustangs. It's just a trim level and an engine package. So no, I don't agree with that. I mean, they're Mustang. It's Mustang GT350, Mustang GT500. I mean, that goes all the way back to the 60s when those cars existed, and you might call it a Shelby Mustang GT350. Because then you had to differentiate between the two because they both existed at the same time. Others say, I live in Vegas. I'm surprised I haven't seen one Hornet yet. I'm surprised you haven't too. Sinners are saying, yeah, bad welds on the AC lines. Oh, no. No, I can't. Oh my, I just don't want to hear about stuff like this because this is how you kill a brand. Uh, Speaking of Vegas, it's like Dodge is doing the whole leaving Las Vegas thing. Do y'all remember that movie? It's actually a really good freaking movie. But Dodge does it's like they're doing the whole leaving Las Vegas. I'm just watching them just kill themselves to death. Kurt, do you think Challenger Drag Pack is worth it if you never go to drag strips? No. That's the only place that you can run them. I mean, they're not street legal. So I wouldn't personally own one because I, I don't race in a series like that. So if I don't race in that series, I'm not going to own the car. And if I'm not trying for a record, I'm not going to own the car either in a way. Like I've kind of gotten to the point where I get something and I look for a record to break. So that's where we're at with this one. And that's kind of what we were doing a little bit with Stormy, sort of. But since we don't have a track anymore, it's kind of hard to get worked up over that. Arthur's asking, I haven't been on YouTube in a while. Have you done my thoughts on the new Mustang S650? I haven't done an exact my thoughts on that car. I've talked about it a lot, but I haven't done a my thoughts on it yet. I do want to get my hands on one and drive one before I throw a my thoughts on it. So be on the lookout for that. Jeremy, I agree. Chevy should bring back the Novas. It would be cool if they did. And they could put pretty much any performance-oriented engine they want in it. I'd be cool with an inline 6 turbo. It'd be cool as hell if they did that. Kurt's asked, can you put the motor and internals from a drag pack into a Hellcat? Yeah, you could put the 354 internal. I mean, you could put the engine in a Hellcat, but why would you? I mean, you just build the Hellcat engine and make that kind of power. So keep in mind, that's an engine running on fuel. It's race fuel engine. It's not a pump gas engine. So everything about it is designed to run on higher octane to get those things to run those kind of numbers. And the drag pack is exceptionally light. So you've got the same amount of power that's running a car that's ultra light by comparison. 4-cylinder turbo Novas. Yeah, if it makes the power, I'd drive one. Shoot, yeah. Base, yeah, it's Nova is no go. That's right. Well, guys, I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I want to thank all of you guys for hanging out with me and helping me. I am going to be looking into the Streamlabs and the StreamYard, see if we can do something about being able to do like a screen share with you guys. So, but with that, I got to wrap it up because I got to hit the sack because I'm tired. I still kind of feel weird. Anyway, guys, get out there and do something cool for somebody. Chances are you need it way more than you know. Love each and every one of y'all. Would not do this without you. And with that, that's a wrap. Y'all have a great one. Adios.